The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has saved the country more than 85 million Ghana cedis after intercepting and securing 12 articulated trucks carrying over 40,000 packages of edible cooking oil, tomato paste and spaghetti destined for Niger through Kulungungu without the required customs human escort. The 12 trucks are expected or suspected to be part of 18 trucks that had earlier been gated out of the system. Speaking to the media after visiting the Tema port to monitor the situation, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyanko Ampim indicated that there is suspected collusion and has therefore given the Ghana Revenue Authority a one-week ultimatum to investigate the development.
So we got information that an operation that was jointly carried out by Customs and National Security led to the interception of about 12 trucks that were carrying over 44,000 pieces of edible oil, spaghetti, and tomato paste from, what's the port? Akanu, purported to be in transit to Niger. And they were intercepted deep in the night. And so about 11 of them are currently here, as we can see. We haven't seen about 6 trucks as we speak. So investigation is ongoing to identify the location of the 6 trucks that we haven't been able to identify. Initial assessment of this by Customs indicated that it was worth about 2.6 million in taxes. But when they did reassessment, they have realized that the actual value of the taxes that is due the state is over 85 million Ghana cedis. And so this is a huge revenue leakage to the state. I'm here with Commissioner General, Customs officials, and other officials who are interested in this particular exercise. I've asked Commissioner General to conclude investigations within 1 week. We are told that 2 customs officials were expected to accompany, to escort these goods that were purported to go all the way to Niger. Unfortunately, they were not. We will want to find out why. And so within 1 week, we'll come back to you, the media, and the general public to tell you exactly what action is going to be taken. These are things that we are taking seriously, very, very seriously, because we have seen deliberate attempt to steal from the state. The leakage through our customs operations is so much that we are taking serious exception to this. And so we are going to continue with this collaboration between the national security and customs officials to make sure that we nip this in the bud.
Meanwhile, Commissioner General of the GRA, Anthony Kwesi-Sapon, also expressed concern over the development and assured that the matter will be thoroughly investigated within the stipulated 1-week period.
GRA, through the Customs Division, together with the Revenue Mobilization Task Force of the National Security, undertook this exercise. And as a state agency responsible for revenue mobilization, I want to assure the nation that this exercise is going to continue because our mandate is to ensure that we raise needed revenue for national development. Again, we want to sound a caution to all businesses and traders that they should voluntarily carry out their businesses in a compliant manner, and will support them as partners in national development. However, businesses that try to do activities or carry out their businesses in a manner that will try to usurp the right of the state and deny the state of the needed revenue, the strong arm of the law that we are mandated to do as we are experiencing or seeing today will stretch it. And when we get hold of them, we will ensure that within the confines of the law we'll apply it. as the Honorable Minister has directed, we'll carry out the investigations within the week. And once we determine the full measure of this action, we want to assure that the first instance we will do is that if these goods, as we have intercepted today, are found not to have been properly documented, we will apply the law of confiscation. And let me emphasize that confiscation will mean that we will take the full value of the goods, the realization of it, and place it into state funds. And that will ensure that we are taking away the capital of the people who are involved as a warning to all those who plan to do such activities. So again, we'll plead and we'll ask businesses to conduct themselves in a manner that follows the law. But if they don't, the full arm of the law within the confines of our enforcement provisions will be applied so that the interests of the state will be protected at all times.
Away from the port, there are growing reactions to Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni's decision to throw out petitions calling for the removal of Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabin, chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, and her two deputies. The CJ, in his letter to the president, established that although the concerns raised serious constitutional and administrative questions, they cannot form grounds for a prima facie determination. We'll get the reaction shortly, but first here are excerpts of the exact petition of the CJ in the letter from the presidency. And there you have it on your screen. It says, while the allegations raise serious constitutional and administrative questions, they do not, on their face, meet the threshold required for a prima facie determination of stated misbehavior or incompetence, warranting that a committee be set up to inquire into the petition. The petition largely rests on conclusions of unlawfulness and bold or bad faith without establishing at the preliminary level clear facts demonstrating intentional wrongdoing or a manifest inability to perform constitutional functions. Even if the Commission's actions or inactions are assumed to be erroneous, controversial or suboptimal, such shortcomings do not automatically translate into stated misbehavior or incompetence within the constitutional sense. So let's hear from one of the petitioners, Apostle Abraham Lincoln, who disagreed with the CJ's decision, vowing to stage a protest.
I disagree. I totally disagree with my Lord. I totally disagree with him straight. I will hit the street again. This is not a personal attack on him, but this is, we are protecting. When you do this, you are creating something for people to doubt the credibility of the judicial service. People will be reading meaning into the judicial service. Meanwhile, John Dramani Mahama promised to clean the judicial service. So is it trying to say that, well, all the petition, all the four, or all the whatever, there's some prima facie case? I will hit the street again. Next month, I'm hitting the street again. By month. Or I staged a one-man demonstration, but I will call people to join if they want to join fund. But still, it's Apostle Abraham Lincoln Labi, one-man demonstrator. I'm going to hit the street again, and I'm calling everybody. If they join me, fine. If they don't want to join me, I will hit the street again.
Apostle Abraham Lincoln is one of the petitioners who was seeking the removal of the Special Prosecutor, Kisie Jabin. The NDC has also been reacting to the decision, and the Director of Legal Affairs for that particular party, Eduji Tamaklo, is insisting that the CJ's decision to throw out the petition does not change the party's long-held position that the EC heads must go. He spoke on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM.
I also want to make the point that the position of the NDC as to the conduct or otherwise of the Electoral Commission over the past 5 years is a matter of public record. I want to make the point that the National Democratic Congress still believes that the current composition of the Electoral Commission and how they have conducted their over the past 5 years leaves much to desire. From what I am reading, it does appear that the Chief Justice has taken the position that the matters in there raise very serious administrative and constitutional issues. And so possibly the forum is not Article 146, and that those matters can be litigated in a different place other than the Appeals Court.
Meanwhile, Minority MP for Minsha South, Nana GHs85m, believes there is no consistency with the latest decision and that which took out former CJ Tokonu, as he calls for a legislation to fix the inconsistency.
Where there has been a specific breach of the Constitution, you say that it doesn't establish a prima facie state. That is why we have stated that this issue about what constitutes a prima facie breach in respect of Article 146, we think that it should be reduced into law. Unless it is reduced into law, it becomes the discretionary power of whoever is making the decision. And this is where it is not good. Otherwise, we risk a situation where different standards are going to be applied to different people based on the disposition of whoever is exercising that discretionary power and what he thinks of that person. And so this raises fundamental questions, and I think that we need a statute to resolve these things, because we can't have a situation where different principles or standards will be applied to different Ghanaians holding the same or similar positions.
Many rural and peri-urban dwellers rely on firewood and charcoal for domestic and commercial cooking for various reasons. The use of wood, charcoal comes at a cost to the environment, cutting of trees and the emission of smoke. Well, the government has been implementing interventions to facilitate a seamless transition from unsustainable energy sources to clean and reliable energy. But has it been a success? Well, there's more in today's Climate Evidence by JoyNews' Precious Semevo.
The world's energy sector is responsible for about 75% of greenhouse gas emissions from fossil electricity generation and traditional biomass, among others, according to a 2023 International Energy Agency IEA report. The emissions get worse due to inefficient energy systems and access concerns to new forms of energy. In Sunyai, in the Bono region of Ghana, where some residents still use firewood and charcoal for domestic and commercial cooking and industrial purposes to sustain livelihoods. But a few, like Gloria Sifa, a food vendor, have had to use clean energy against her preferred firewood due to the location of her food joint. Her preferred firewood and charcoal come at a cost of forest destruction, a worrying situation according to Richard Kofichei, Bono Regional Deputy Director of the Forestry Commission.
We all need to work together to reverse the trend. Otherwise, a time will come and then we all will be found wanting.
In our society, you will say that poverty is one of the reasons why they continue using firewood. They cannot afford it. And so though we don't like it, but gradually we will reach there.
You can deduce that it is easier getting the firewood as against the LPG.
Dr. Khalid Mensah is the head of Department of Atmospheric and Climate Science at the University of Energy and Natural Resources in Sunyai.
Clean, sustainable energy supplies that could be alternatives to this firewood and charcoal burning has to do with the use of LPG gas, which in 2010, around that time, there was a policy that was implemented on this extension of LPG gases to homes to make sure that people reduce the rate at which they are using this firewood.
Gloria Sifa admonished authorities to critically look at the high rate of electricity and gas tariffs to aid transition to sustainable clean energies, as highlighted in the Ghana Climate Change Policy.
You see, Ghana said, "Member car 1.5." Now the gas we turn now watching also 1.5. Who the here say, "Ni part of bet na say as chinchia of so you see because you say gas no the no amount amount nema so hu kra so sanye tuntu." It say abai bet here you be bisa maya. Can say ni beja ba me say
the country receives some money from these global alliances and then also some from these climate-related groups. And all of this could be geared towards creating some subsidies to reduce the cost of refilling. And if it comes that way, people then now are able to patronize and they are able to use it well.
The hope is that future policies will make clean energy not only affordable and reliable, but also accessible to all. Strategic efforts must address both economic and cultural barriers, ensuring a just and sustainable energy transition for Ghana's underserved communities. Precious Semevo, Sunyai.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire Alpha.